Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's quietly running your entire financial life, whether you know it or not. It's called feature engineering, and it's basically the secret language that translates your data into major decisions. So let's just jump right in.
Right? How on earth does your bank know that a $2,500 charge for some new gadget in Tokyo is a problem just 2 minutes after you bought a coffee in New York City? Well, I can tell you it's not a lucky guess. It's all about feature engineering.
At its heart, feature engineering is really just a translation job. You think about all your financial data. It's just this chaotic storm of times, places, and dollar amounts. A machine can't make sense of that chaos. So feature engineering is the art of taking that raw mess and turning it into clean, useful clues or features that a machine can actually read and learn from.
I like to think of it like being a chef. So on the left, that's your raw data. It's like a pile of uncooked ingredients. A machine learning model has no idea what to do with that. But then the data scientist, our chef, steps in. They start chopping, mixing, and creating these prepared, engineered features you see on the right. And suddenly, a real story starts to take shape. We see your average spending, your debt ratio, and a big flashing yes next to location anomaly. Now that's something a model can work with.
And for a very long time, that chef was a human being. Long before we had all this crazy automation, financial experts were carefully crafting these clues by hand. They used their deep, real-world knowledge of how money actually works to turn boring numbers into these powerful, predictive stories. And one of the most powerful, most elegant features they came up with is a simple ratio, your debt-to-income ratio, or DTI. See, instead of just looking at your debt or just your income, it asks a much, much smarter question. How much of your monthly income is already spoken for by your debt payments? It's just brilliant. One number that gives this incredible snapshot of your financial health.
And for a lender, the meaning is crystal clear. You've got a low DTI? Awesome. That means you have plenty of cash left over each month. You're a safe bet. But as that bar starts to climb, so does the bank's anxiety. It's a really simple feature, but it has massive consequences for anyone who's trying to get a loan.
And here's another classic, credit utilization. This one's super simple. It just asks, of all the credit you have available, how much of it are you actually using? If you keep that number low, it sends a really strong signal that you're responsible, you're not overextended. It's one of the best signs of financial stability a lender can look for. And the list of these smart, handcrafted clues just goes on and on. Experts look at everything, like recency. How long has it been since your last transaction? That can be a surprisingly good way to spot fraud. Or they'll look at whether you're suddenly spending on a weekday when you almost always shop on weekends. Each little clue is another piece of the puzzle of you. But here's the thing. In today's world, with the insane amount of data we generate, trying to handcraft every feature is like trying to empty the ocean with a teaspoon. It's just too slow. To have any chance of keeping up, finance had to call in the machines and put feature creation on autopilot. And this shift creates a really interesting trade-off. The human approach, it's intuitive. It's based on logic we can all understand, but it's slow and it can't scale. Now, automation is unbelievably fast. It can find strange patterns we would never even think to look for. But the downside is that it can create these black box features, clues that are so complex that even the data scientists who built the system don't fully understand why they work. They just do.
So this automated process can spit out hundreds, sometimes thousands of potential new features. And that creates a whole new problem. Which ones are actually helpful and which ones are just noise? You can't use them all. That would just overwhelm the model. And the answer is another automated process, this one called feature selection.
One of the cleverest ways machines do this is called recursive feature elimination. Honestly, it's like a brutal tournament for data. First, the machine builds a model using every single feature it created. Then, it ranks them all based on how important they were. And then, it kicks out the worst one, the one that contributed the least. And then it does it all over again. Build, rank, eliminate. Build, rank, eliminate. Over and over, until only the leanest, meanest, most predictive team of features is left standing. Okay, so we've got the human touch, we've got the machine automation, but let's get to the most important part. How does any of this actually show up in your life? How does it connect to the money in your wallet?
Well, make no mistake, the stakes here are incredibly high. Getting these features right isn't just some academic exercise, it's everything. As one expert put it, good features can mean the difference between catching a fraud or missing it. They separate a smart loan from a financial disaster. And here is the big reveal. You are already an expert on one of the most powerful, most influential, manually engineered features ever created, your credit score. Yep, that one single 3-digit number is an absolute masterclass in feature engineering. It takes years of your financial life, your payment history, your debt, your credit habits, and boils it all down into one powerful, universally understood clue.
So let's go all the way back to that first question. Here's how it really happens, second by second. At 9:15, the system sees your coffee purchase in New York. Normal. Then, just over 2 minutes later, a huge purchase hits from Tokyo. The model isn't just looking at the money. It's using those engineered features for time and location. It calculates the time between the two purchases, it calculates the physical distance between them, and bam! In less than a second, it flags an impossible travel event. Your account gets locked down before you even realize anything is wrong.
So, from the simple common sense wisdom of a handcrafted ratio to the mind-bending power of an AI model, feature engineering is the invisible engine that drives so much of modern finance. It's this living language that's getting better and better at reading our data. And that leaves us with one last really big question. As these systems get even smarter, what profound, maybe even uncomfortable, truths about our own financial behavior will they uncover next?